Buongiorno. We're early. It's 7 o'clock, isn't it? It's 7 o'clock. Welcome to Sunday Rum Day. I'm excited. I've got a different shirt on tonight and everything. And I don't know what goes on, right? I start that little countdown. It's exactly 2 minutes long. I start it every week, bang on the seconds, and it always finishes 10, 15 seconds later. I don't understand what's going on. Anyway, welcome to tonight's live blind cask tasting spectacular. Can't wait. I absolutely can't wait for tonight. I'm going to hang it out a little bit because I've got a few messages from people saying they're going to be a bit late. So I'm going to have a little bit of banter with you guys, and I'm going to switch the lights on before someone even says switch the lights on, although I'm sure someone's already put switch the lights on. I bet someone's already in there. So who's on? Pam. And this is the other thing. I asked the question, but I have to go into YouTube Studio to ask the question. I can only see Pam that's answered it. So I don't know whether anyone else can see the question or not. I don't know how that works. But yeah, that's there. So if you've had a cask finish before, what's your favourite cask finish? Whack that in the comments. We can have a little chat about that for the time being. Let me just do this with the window so I can see. There we go. Right. So Pam, I'll come back to that in a minute. Windy, Gus, Bunnix. I had sweaty bums because I know your package got delivered yesterday and I've been tracking it all week thinking, is it going to get there? Is it going to get there? It was for 3 days. So Bunnix, I know you got yours yesterday morning. I did see that. Jake, Andy, who else is here? Katie, hello Katie. Ian, I can see your little thing. Legend for 12 months. Woohoo! Well done, Ian. Awesome. Karen, Don, hello, that's a new name. Let's give Don some love. Who's Don? Don, where are you? Where are you from? What's your rum of choice? Hello, Don. Karen's put lights. Yes, Karen. Yes, we got the lights. Do you know what? I was filming yesterday and I got through the first cocktail. I was doing cocktail videos yesterday and I got through the first cocktail and I turned around and I was like, so I'll put them on. So you'll be able to, it'll be in 4 weeks' time because I'm that far ahead on filming. But you'll see one video where I'll start off without the lights and then they'll just come on. Really funny. Right. Stephen. Hello, Stephen. Port Nick. Roy. Hello, Roy. Roy's in the house as well. So my question about... I've got to keep this one open as well because really annoys me that I can't see these on here. But Tom's a member for 12 months as well. How can I put that? Why can't I put that on screen? That really annoys me that I can't put that on screen. Flipping annoys me. But anyway, hopefully you lot will be able to see that in the comments anyway. So Tom's been a member for 12 months. What's she put? We back on the old channel, or have you moved the subs over? This is the third week of live streaming back on this channel. The live streams do get unlisted straight away, but you can watch them from the link in Discord, and you can watch them. They are on the channel homepage, but basically by unlisting them, YouTube stops promoting them, so they don't, because they're massively long videos. You know, they get shit click-through rates and shit viewing retention, so they hurt the channel. So I'm keeping them on the main channel now, but they are unlisted videos. So if you want to watch these back, just go onto my channel homepage, and then you'll see the live show streams. They're there, but YouTube won't promote it to the wider audience after the live stream, which I'm quite happy with that. So yes, right. Well, how can I get rid of that? Get rid of that. Oh, this does my head in. No, hang on, bear with me for 2 seconds. What's going on here? Right, let's start this again. All the technicals in it. Right, YouTube. There we go. Right. Oh, I can't see the flipping comments on here now. Right. I'm having a hissy fit. That's my screen on there. I want to see the comments. Right, hang on. Let me shut this down. You come on. Let's get these cask finish questions going in. So what is your favourite cask finish while I do this? Pam has got that Bristol Cuban Sherry. That's really good, isn't it? I did have that at Rumfest. That's an absolute banger, that one. I do love the Cuban rums. Right, your channel. There we go, live. Right, that's better. Now we've got the comments. See, look, you're highlighted in massive green there. I can't see that on my software, which is really annoying. Right, there we go. Right, let's put that back there. Let's keep that in there. Happy days. Right, Scott's retracted a message for some reason, but I don't know what that is. Right, we'll get to that in a minute. Any more questions? Any guesses on the sherry? Any guesses on the casks? Got to be sherry. There may or may not be sherry in here, Windy. There may or may not be a controversial one in here. We shall find out, shall we? I might be playing silly buggers tonight. Who knows? Who knows? Yes, I did. So Stephen, young Stephen, did kind of. I did, when I thought about this about 2 months ago. I thought, do you know what? The Abuelos would be a good one for this. And then I went against it. I went in a different direction. And then literally 2 days later, I get a message from Steve saying he's bought all the Abuelos. And I was like, oh, thank God for that. so yeah, that was a good one. But I did see your little analysis of the Abuelos last night. Quite interesting, isn't it? Quite interesting. Don's a port finish. I don't think I've ever had... Hang on, have I? I don't think I've ever had a port finish. Might have done at Rumfest, but not like proper sample. In like Rumfest, you get like little 5ml samples, don't you? So I'm not sure I've had a port finish. Yes, I have. I tell a lie. I tell's a lie. Don't know. Where's it gone? The Worthy Park. It'll be right in my face. There it is, right in my flipping face. The port finish of that at Black Parrot. I've had that as a port finish. I think that might be the only one. So. Yeah. Dan says, hi. Hello, Dan. How are you? The boss, and the Katie, the PA. The PA's doing typing. The boss is in the background directing. We like that. Right. Dan's in Northern Ireland. What is it with you Northern Irish? We've got quite a few Northern Irish people here, haven't we? Philip, is it you? Philip, are you in the house? You're in Northern Ireland, aren't you? Philip, you must be in the house. You've got this. I haven't seen your name pop up. I think you're Northern Irish as well. Obviously, Havana Steve's Northern Irish. Windy's likes his whiskey cask. Nice. Right. Scott, is this the message you got retracted? I think it might be, but it's still on my screen. So I've put it here anyway. Have the samples got red letters on because I've mixed mine up with the previous ones, so I might be tasting something different tonight. What are you talking about? No, they've not got. Well, I don't know what colour I did them actually. If someone, I've got one of these funky pens. I've got like a proper, not the cheapo Bic one, the 4 ones, but I've got a posh one, a handwriting posh one. So I don't know what colour I did. Could be green, red, blue, or black. So someone else help him out. I don't know. Right. Karen's sherry, black letters on mine. I'm lost. Pam sorted me out. Happy days. Hello, Ganimal. Ganimal's in the house. Windy. Biggest range of cask finish has got to be plantation. Yeah. I think, again, there's something I haven't really paid attention to. I'll tell you about plantation, mate. I haven't really paid attention to all their different cask releases. And because obviously plantation is a lot of cognac, a hell of a lot of cognac. But then they do those sort of single cask and barrel swaps and all that sort of stuff. So I've kind of like even this one. I'm going to start getting them a bit more. I'm going to start giving a bit of plantation a bit more love. But that's that taste along we all did probably about a year ago now. I think that's kind of the like the little tiny dregs left in that. But this, what cask was this? Was this cognac? Yeah, continental. So, yeah, Ferrand. So cognac casks on that as well. Quite interesting. So I was with young Paul McFadden, who is the Plantation Global Brand Ambassador on Friday night, and Nick from Identity Drinks. I have filmed. The whole thing was about 2 and a bit hours, but by the time I've cut bits out and a few things that I didn't think Paul might want on camera, there is about an hour and 15, an hour and 10 minutes, which will come out as a podcast on this Thursday. But it's brilliant. I wouldn't say it's a guided tour of plantation, but it is Paul absolutely in his flow, doing what he does best, and that's educating about rum in general. Yes, the whole thing is a plantation tasting. It was a charity event on Friday night. So yeah, the whole thing is that. But they were all tasting the Barbados 5-year-old, the Guatemalan and Belize, the Fiji, the XO, and then the Stiggins, the normal Stiggins, and the Cane Rock. So that was what the audience were tasting. But Paul's got this brilliant way of educating about rum without doing the hard sell about plantation. It is brilliant to listen to and watch, and he's funny. I've known him 20 years. He's been the global brand ambassador for plantation for at least 15 that I know of. So absolutely knows his stuff. So do keep an eye out for that. That'll be on my rum reviews channel on Thursday. As I say, it's an hour long. You don't need to watch it. It's one of those that you can absolutely listen to as well. The audio should be pretty good because I've mic'd Paul up as well. So yeah, look forward to that. There's some great stories. There's some great knowledge in there. My eyes got open with private chats. I won't disclose any of that, but there are a lot of private chats afterwards, and my eyes got open to a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that, may or may not get talked about. And it was such a brilliant night. But the one thing I'm looking forward to is I have been invited officially now over to Maison Franc. So there will be videos. There will be me tasting a lot of casks. I've got a funny feeling it's the same time as the pineapples, where they invite loads and loads of bartenders over from all over the world to chop up the pineapples for the Stiggins, the yearly thing. I've got a funny feeling it's the same time as that, so 3 days, but that would be epic. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that. And yeah, a bit more. He's offered. There's a few awesome things that might come video-wise off the back of it, and I'm really looking forward to that. So love or hate plantation. The education they do, just Paul, as Paul says, Paul's all about bigging up rum in general. Although he is the face of plantation, he's just about bigging up rum in general, and it's just a great talk. So I'm looking forward for you guys listening to that. Anyway, back on topic. I said I was going to sort of eke this out for a bit because I know a few people are late. Claire wasn't getting in until 8:30, and Danny and Jamie I think were joining about sort of 20 past. So we'll kind of eke this out for a little bit. Right, we have red letters on ours. Bristol. Jake, I feel left out. What's Jake saying? I feel left out having standard black writing. Can I have green writing? Oh, I've just done next week's. What did I do? I think next week. Oh, no, I think next week's might be black. Really sorry. I'll do green the next one. How's that? Katie, my favourite cask finished hasn't been announced yet. What? Hasn't been announced yet, so I can't say it's from. Yeah, right, okay, yeah. Yes. That's yes. We'll keep that one under wraps. Right. If it's 4 samples next time, can I have one of each colour pen? I've already done it. We'll have to do that next time, won't we? I haven't worked out what the next one's going to be. Katie and Dan, I sent you an email earlier about booking in the Stratford soda cocktail make along thing, and I kind of put out a thing about membership cocktail competition on there. So have a look at that email. No rush, but we'll get that booked in. Craft Rum Club will be a week later next month because of Easter. I'm quite excited about the rum. It's not a scheduled rum, but I'm very, very excited for the rum members. For the rum that's coming next month, that should be epic. That should have a lot of fans. Whether it'll be alive or not is another matter, but basically the Craft Rum Club is going the week after Easter. So I've got Easter free at the moment. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do a live. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but we just thought it might be better just to kind of give the Craft Rum Club a week's break on that. So hopefully Katie and Dan will do the week after, and then I'll do the next taste along, which will probably be the 30th, maybe. So maybe a month from now, I think, because I don't think we'll get another one in for Easter weekend unless I sort it out this early this week. Right, here we go. G's having a romp. Right, trouble with plantation cask because it's all brandy and all awful. Well, I know he's just fishing, but trouble with all Martinique rum, it's all flipping sugarcane juice and nasty, isn't it? I mean, it goes both ways. Let's be honest. Right. Oh, we like winding G up, don't we? What's this one? All good with us. I'll be replying tomorrow morning. Dan's been away on a boys' weekend, so he hasn't really read it all. Yes, that's fine. Right, so I think we can sort of have a gradual kind of warm up to this. So what we have got tonight is Pam's just reminded me, those Scottish Rumfest. Pam has put a link in Discord, I think. I will be up at Scottish Rumfest. It's in September. I've booked the weekend away, so I will be up probably Friday. Stay there Saturday and come back. So Friday night, stay there Saturday and come back Sunday morning or something. I'll train up there. But yes, the Scottish Rumfest, that should be epic because hopefully it'll be nothing like Rumfest in London. It'll be nothing like the Rum Show in London. It'll be nothing like Manchester Rumfest because hopefully it should just be Scottish rum, Scottish scratch rum. So I would definitely be making a kind of a point of going up there. It looks like 2 sessions. I'm kind of interested. Was it this one? Was it different talk? No, what am I looking at? I think I'm looking at something else. I think there was like 2 sessions of different talks and stuff like that. I don't know. I can't remember. I've looked at a few different kind of Rumfests recently. So, right. I'm sure Bakes will be there. Yeah, Bakes. Is Bakes in the house? Bakes is back in Discord, isn't he? Right. There'll be nothing like you mean foreign. Yeah, no foreign, no foreign stuff. Right. So tonight we've had a bit of a waffle for 15 minutes. That's cool. So people should be kind of catching up a little bit now. What's in store tonight? I have got 4 different cask finishes. Cask finishes are something I haven't really paid too much attention to. As Grumpy G has pointed out, we should all be very used to cognac finish stuff because of plantation. However, not all plantation rums get finished in cognac barrels. Some barrels just get purely shipped back. Bourbon barrels get shipped back for continental aging, but a lot of plantation rums do get aged in cognac cask as well. So it swings around about, but we should be used to a bit of cognac. I dare say the stuff we've done before, we should be used to sherry. Especially Dos Madeiros. But again, other than Dos Madeiros, other than what are the others? Dawley's XO, and there's one more. Brugal, 1888. Again, sherry's not a huge one for me. So I'm not saying what these cask finishes are. This is all going to be revealed at the end. But the whole point of tonight is mine are all sort of here. I I haven't smelt them yet. I've just poured them. I haven't tasted them. I obviously know what they are. I would love to do this blind, but you know I can't because I obviously have to dram them out, just dram them and send them out. But I'm really keen to sort of see the differences and see what different cask finishes add to a rum. So yeah, that's what's in store. So Pam came up with a great idea earlier. Pam wanted to smell them all before we even get into smelling and tasting them. So I think that'll be a good one to start off with. If you want to pour all 4 of your drams out, if you haven't done already, and all I want you to do, I don't want you to taste them. All I want you to do is have a little nose and see if you can pick the cask from the nose. It was a genius idea from Pam. It was not how I was going to do things because, you know, I like to make things up as I go along. But I thought that was quite funny. So I don't know. I generally haven't smelt these. But if you want to smell all 4 now and just hazard a guess as to which cask they are, you might not be able to pick anything. You know, you might think one may be a whiskey. I only have 2 glasses. Do you know what? That was my that was my instant reaction to Pam. I said, what about people who've only got like 1 or 2 glasses? And Pam was just like, smell them out the pouch. If you can smell them out the pouch, you smell them out the pouch. You do that. You don't have to do this bit if you don't want to, but I think that will be quite fascinating. I don't have glasses like at bingos. I've only got 1 to hand. Smell them. I don't know whether smelling out the pouch will work. I don't know. If you can't get involved in this bit, don't worry about it. Really don't. But I'm going to have a little smell of this. I'm not going to say anything because obviously I know which ones these are. But these are my first aromas, my first whiffing of these rums. This is A. There's some big notes coming off that. Interesting. The other thing I will say, these have been out now for about half an hour. Okay, they've been out in the glass for about half an hour. So I kind of want these rums to kind of like explode. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about tonight's. Right. not reckon to make this. Yeah, I did say that. Don't worry if you can't do this. Right, there's a very distinctive aroma coming off A for me. Right, let's move on to. Let's. Of course, good job I showered earlier, isn't it? Right, A smells lush. Think this will be my favourite. Ooh, that's a different. Yeah, that's you can definitely pick the different finish off that. Right, A and B smell stronger. Smell stronger as in what? Stronger alcohol, stronger aroma. How stronger? Define smell stronger. Come on, Rachel. I know that's you because Kevin's swanning off somewhere. Rachel, I know you're turning into the rum expert. I saw you at NRB. You know what you're talking about. So don't make out that you don't. Karen coconut. Right. I'm quite intrigued by B. C. Oh, hang on. I like that. I think, do you know what? I think we've got one of Mummy Barman's Rivitas. I need to keep some crackers. I always forget to have crackers around here, so I need to get some crackers. But just to sort of neutralise the palate after each one. Phew, C's really interesting. Ooh. Ooh, that's really fascinating, that is. Wow, that's so different to B. Wow, okay. G's gone in for Madeira. A Madeira. Just whack. I'm not writing these down, but just rack your guesses. If you can pick anything out at all on A, B, C, or D, just do exactly what G's just done. A Madeira, B whiskey, C fruit punch, whatever. B is port or sherry. Okay. Actually, I might make a note of these. Can I? Hang on. Oh, I can start these. Hang on. Can I start? I can start. Right, hang on. bear with. Right, star. I can star. Right, star. Yes. Pinned messages. Oh, yes. Now we're on. C for me has a sweet wine nose. Okay. Not working from the pouch for me. Let's hope there's no baby sick. Right, C's interesting. A and B are stronger strength. Right, couldn't get much out of the other two. So you're thinking A and B are stronger ABV, not stronger as in rum aroma. Okay, A, very honey. We're thinking bourbon, maybe even a JD cask. We're spinning these. Right, how do these come up if I do that? Oh, yes. Oh, I like this. I'm pinning loads of messages. Right, that's brilliant. Never forgot about that before. Right, sherry for D. Right, hang on. I'm moving on to D. Right. Right, my first whiff of D. Again, that's different again, isn't it? Which you'd hope they will be. or have I just done 4 different sherries? As I say, there may or may not be a what's the word? I can't even think what the word is now. What's the word? I may have done something naughty, or I may not have done. Who knows? Who knows? B, thinking cognac or Armagnac. Getting a bit of apple. Katie says very French smelling. Is that Dan? Is Dan on the keys? Hello, Dan. Right, start that. C, very faint. Dan says possibly virgin cask. All right. Right, Nick, started as agro. Oh, hang on. A. Oh, right. A started as agricole. Hang on, let's put that. It's a long one. I've got to read this off here. A started as agricole, very dry sherry, but sweetened up. B, Calvados. C, sweet honey, mead or sauternes. Ooh. D, rich and grassy PX. Interesting. Okay, that's going to get pinned and hide. I like these. There's some very don't laugh. No, Pam. No, I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. I like these. Pam, I know because you'll be typing, but if you've looked at everyone else's comments, everyone's all over the shop. I don't think we've had 2 or 3 people thinking the same thing at the moment. So, right, Pam, hang on. Let me put this up on screen. Don't laugh, but A, sherry, B, Madeira, C, wine, D, port. If there are 2 sherry, it's A and D. Okay, interesting. Someone else has put. I have seen. Oh, hang on. I have seen my first whiff of the D. Steve the barman. Is that a Manchester thing? My first whiff of D. Steve. What's D? What's D stand for up in Manchester? Don't know. Right. And downside. I don't understand now. What's that mean? My first whiff of the D. What's the D? D? What are you talking about? I don't get that one. That one's just gone straight over my head. D? Really? Come on, Tom. You can do better than that. That's not even that funny. Is that what you meant? That's not that funny at all, really. That's quite poor, to be fair, Tom. Right, D. Right, let's pin this one. I think, did I pin Pam's? Yeah, I did. I saw one from here as well. G. What's G put? G is odd. First thought was whiskey, maybe bourbon, but maybe cognac. Okay, we're pinning that. Brilliant, Tom. Right, D, port and sherry. Right, bloody hell, Steve. I don't know. The kids these days, I'm mid-40s, you know. I don't, you know. Tom's like the 16-year-old in the house, isn't he? Right. We are approaching 1:30, and I know Claire said she would be in at 1:30, so I think we can. And I haven't seen Danny yet. Danny and Jamie, if you're in, just send me a little WhatsApp. I know you don't comment on the videos, but if you send me a little WhatsApp message, and then I can I know we're there. But people did say sort of 1:30 at the latest, so I think we'll crack on with this. So, right, let's pin this. Is there any more? Oh, hang on, it's loads here. Tom's jokes have been poor tonight. I thought, right, let's pin this one from Pam. Right, I thought there was a vague vinegar background in C, which is why I went wine. Interesting. D is so different. Yeah. Ham's on the chips again. Right, D smells of almonds. So a bit of lost PX. Is that what? I know you've got typos going on tonight. Is that what you actually mean? A bit. So a bit lost PX. No, actually, I get the PX bit, but I don't get the lost. Is it a bit lost in PX? I don't know. Right. My spell's gone, so I'm relying on my taste tonight. Right, Scott. After inhaling B, I'm not. Right. So B is opening up. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So I think, right, I've pinned all these and I'm going to scroll back through these at the end. Some of you are going to get the piss ripped out of you royally. And a couple of you are pretty much nailed on. And I won't say who. And I'm quite impressed by that, actually, by some of them. So I won't say who. So, right, I think we can sort of half past. I think that's 29 minutes past. That's good enough for me for half past. Claire, I know. Ganimal, oh, I've just seen this pop up. Ganimal's a member for 13 months. I want to put those on flipping screen. Put user in a timeout. No, not tonight. No, I can't do that. Anyway, congratulations, Ganimal. Right. Jake B was the one I snorted after earlier. Right, I don't think I need to pin anymore. I think we're cool. So, if we want to move on to letter A, so you can have a proper whiff of this. Whiskey Malt Content Reviews. Hello, my friend. How are you? I saw you commenting on a few videos the other day. Well, I thank you. Right. Quite dry after all that talking. So, we're going to move on. You can smell again now that you've gone. Don't forget, reset your whole palate. Reset your nose in your armpit. The old soda water. Right. So I'm going to bring out. Here's Claire. Here she is. I was waiting for you, Claire. Right. The boss is in the house. The after show hosts, Havana Steve. Hang on. It's not Havana Steve. Steve, what's your name on here? Is it Stephen? I've forgotten. What's your name on here? Scroll up. Scroll up for those that don't. Stephen Beck, right? So Stephen Beck, for those new members, Stephen Beck there, and Claire down here are your after show party hosts in Discord. All right, in the membership area of Discord. So for those of you that want to join afterwards, they are your hosts. Right. So we've gone back to A and proper whiffing, proper aromas, proper. I'm going to give you my sort of. What I can pick off this. The big thing for me off this is vanilla. Huge amounts of vanilla on here. Too busy working. Right, what else? And then you can move on to tastings. And what I'll do is I'll get your scores out of 10. So whether you would buy it. So I'll write down what you think it is as well. Actually, don't. After tasting, I'll write down what you think it is. I'll write that down in here. And a score out of 10. Bearing in mind, anything over 7, you would definitely buy. 7, 8, 9, 10, you would 100% buy. 5 or 6 out of 10, you would consider it if it was on offer and the price is right. Anything under 5, you might drink if it was in a pub, but you probably wouldn't buy a bottle. That's kind of my loose sort of things for this. So, definitely vanilla, definitely honey. Getting a kind of little sort of dry fruit, standard sort of dry fruit on there. Sugar bomb, really? I've not tasted this yet. I've not tasted any of these yet, so I don't know how sweet these are. I've not looked at how sweet these potentially are, whether they've been dosed. I'm pretty sure they haven't been dosed, but I don't know. A smells sweet, dry fruit, delicious, sherry. Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna pin that because Claire was absent from that, so I'm gonna pin that one. Much ABV. Yes and no. I won't say this split, but Yes, not all. I won't say the split. I won't say whether there's 1, 2, or 3 at a higher ABV. There's definitely one at 40, and there's definitely one at close to 50. I won't say much else. I'll just give you those two. How's that? Right, honey, vanilla, warm, pleasant drink. Right, I'm going in. I'm going in for a taste. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, that's good. Mm. I get what Pam means about sugar bomb, but I don't think that's sweetness. I think I I don't think that's sweetened up. In fact, I don't know. I don't know. I would say that's not sweetened. I would say that's the barrel that's bringing that through. What's everyone else's thoughts on this? What are we getting? Come on, give me some tasting notes. Nick, I know you're all over tasting notes with this. Dan flipping obviously is. And Katie, honey, sweet vanilla leaves a very warm feeling. That is luxurious. That is. Pears, creamy sherry. Ooh, pears. I like that. Creamy sherry, bloody delicious, easy 9 or 10. Right, I'm going to write that down. If that's Claire's score, hang on, I'll write these in red here. Claire, 9, 10. And don't forget, if you've got a guess of what the barrel finish is, then write that. Okay, it's got a nice thickness to it. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it's got a lovely. I've used this word in video. You'll see this drop in about 7 or 8 videos over the next month. I've used the word unctuous quite a lot recently. I don't know where it came from. I just heard it. I thought, oh, that's a great word. This has got a lovely unctuousness to it. Woody initially, some tannins, honey, coffee on the finish. Anyone aging Kahlua casks? the Kahlua even use casks? Kahlua just get a random rum, don't they? And just add sugar and coffee to it, don't they? Right, sweet and fruity. I like this. Little toasty aftertaste. Really like this. Honey, beautifully rounded. Right, Katie. Dan's score is 8. Where's Katie? Oh, Danny. Oh, Dan is 8. Katie. Oh, it's right up there. Katie finished it. It was a drop. Katie scores 7.5. Don't forget, if you want to guess what the cask finish is, you go for it. You drop that in right now. The wife says it smells like Scott and drinkable. Hello, Scott's wife. Scott, I don't know what your missus is called. I've forgotten. Hello, Mrs. Scott. Jury, Big G. Cool, that was a mishmash of Garine and G. Jury. The taste is more sherry than Madeira. Okay, so G more sherry finished than Madeira. So G's thinking this is sherry. Don't forget to whack your scores in there. Right, Jake is a 5. What number 4? No, 4. Oh no, 4. Sorry, Jake's gone 4 for this. Wow. Okay, Jake, what don't you like about it? I'm intrigued. What is it? Too strong? Too plain? Too not sweet enough? Like what don't you specifically like about it for it to be a 4? Philip, this is nice and moorish. Roy has scored this an 8. Right. Roy, where's you? You're up here. 8 for young Roy. 7 for Karen and Sherry. Right, 7 Sherry. Nick is a little sweet, but it's quite grippy on the tongue. Tannic, possibly a fancy claret cask. 8.5 out of 10. Claret. Fancy claret. Nice. Nick, claret. I'll group that as wine. If it's a wine cask, I'll let you have that for claret. Laura. Laura? Laura. 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 There. So sorry, Laura. 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 It's a basic 4-letter word that I can't say. I'm going for Laura, but right, hang on. Right, hide that. Right. So 7-inch sherry tastes different. Second sip, really creamy, bit of coffee and vanilla. I'm afraid my scores goes today. I'm afraid my score goes today high. Bunnings is 8. Sorry, I knew there was going to be a second part to that. Where's Bunnings? Bunnings. I'll put you down by your first name. That's why I can't find you. Right, Bunnings has gone 8. Steve-O, Havana Stephen is 8.5, and he's put Madeira. Interesting. Madeira, Bunnings is 8. And if I mispronounce it, hang on, I can take this both ways. If you mispronounce it again, she is coming to Manchester. So do you want me to mispronounce it so she comes, or do you not want me to mispronounce it so you've got a weekend away? Right, Scott is a 7. Scott's a 7. This is so being delivered on Tuesday. You might not be able to, young Claire. Just saying. Right, Claire. So, right, 8 and Sherry for Pam. Right, let's get these scores rocking in now. 8 for Sherry. Sherry and 8. Oh, Nick, did I get a score off you? I just wrote down. What did I write down for Nick? Claret. I wrote claret and not a score. Flipping hell. I got confused then. 8.5, yeah, I knew I'd seen it right. 8.5 for that. Right, G, I need your score. Bingo. Is Bingo around tonight? Bingo. Whiskey malt content cognac cask. You not got a sample, have you? Right, G for me, it's a 6. Guess it's under 50. G is a 6. Guess it's under 50. El Salvador would give it a 5 because nothing remarkable here. See, look, G's on a massive downer. It's like people here absolutely loving it, and she's like, "There's nothing remarkable here. It's just like water, isn't it?" G, come on, lighten up. Come on, G, get a bit more enthusiastic. Come on. Right, Amarone cask. Oh, I like that. I'm going to class that as wine again, but I like that, Roy. Amarone. Where's Roy gone? Why can't I see Roy? There we go. Amarone. Right. Rachel, I haven't got a score from you either, I don't think. It's Laura, but spelt lot. Ah, right. Okay. See, I did say it right first time, Laura. Right, wait. There's some kind of home-age nightmare done himself. Right. Volume, I'm going to disprove that. So, Scott, Philip's in the house, haven't you? Philip, I want a score. Please, my friend. I know Connor's ill. Rachel, I want a score, and I'm assuming Bingo is not here. And just to clarify, this is not my homebrew. These are my age. I need to buy a barrel for these. These are my age rums. My Steve's blend. I don't think I'm ever going to send these to you. I'm going to use these for cocktail batching and stuff like that when I do bigger events. There's plenty of that going on there. Right. Let's put that in there. Is that going to fall over? Right. Any more scores? Bingo is having an early night. Not well. Fair enough. Right. Rachel's 6 and Sherry. It's just Philip then, I think. And I can't see Danny and Jamie. Danny and Jamie, if you're watching, let me know in WhatsApp. Sandra's here though. Sandra's a 9. Sandra loves this. And Sandra, you've absolutely nailed the cask. I'll give that to you because no one can see your comment. Only I can see your comment. So you've absolutely nailed the cask. And Andrew's a 7. And sherry as well. Interesting. Right. Danny and Jamie, I don't know where you are. Philip, if you're around, I'm sure you were here. Is anyone, if I miss Philip, I'm sure he was here. I'm sure he was. Am I going mad now? I'm scrolling back. I'm scrolling back. Okay, I've scrolled for ages. Perhaps, I'm sure Philip's here. I'm sure he is. Didn't he please? Am I being stupid? Perhaps Philip isn't here then. Am I being stupid? I'm sure Philip's here. I don't know. Right, okay. Enough of that. Let's come back here. Members only sampling. Jake, Steve Special aged sauce. Are you still referring to D? Right. G, give me a nice bottle of, say, Cask Strength Savannah, and I will not be grumpy. Right, so now it's time to move on to B. And if Philip rejoins us again, I want your score for that. So. Bit of soda water, a bit of Rivita, bit of dried Rivita. I need to get some crackers. Right. Oh, I knew he was in the house. Thank you, Philip. 8.5 to 9. And wine cask. There's a lot of... If you group sherry and Madeira, in fact, I won't say what Sandra said, because you can't see that. And I won't say what Andrew said, because again, you can't see that. There's a lot of wine in this one. Bearing in mind, Madeira would be wine, claret, Amarone, wine, sherry, obviously a wine. Interesting. Right. Need some more water now. So if you want to move on to letter B. Not much in there, is there? Right. Letter B. Are you sure this is rum? Curveball, that's the word I was looking for. As I said, there may or may not be a curveball in here tonight. I'm not saying anything until the grand reveal. You tell me. This is blind tasting. This is your education experience. Blind tasting rum. Or maybe not rum. I'm saying B is sherry. Right. Other tasting notes off this. Really reminds me of something, this actually. What are we getting on here? Apple pear in the nose, raising the taste, strong sweet, cognac cask, down score 8. Wow, bloody hell. All right, well, I'll write that down before we go any further. Katie down. Right, 8 for Katie, Dan 8.5, cognac. Very sweet, afterburn my throat. Right, I'm going in. This one's interesting because I do get a little bit of chocolate off this. I get again a bit of vanilla. I think if I didn't know what the cask was, I think I would get the cask from the nose. I don't know. It's easy. It's so easy to say that as I've got it here. It's so easy. I don't know. I probably wouldn't actually, to be fair. But now that I know what it is, I can smell it. Right. Don't like B, not rum, 3.5 for Roy. Not rum. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I flipping love that. Oh. Ooh, that's good. Definitely that stone fruit, that apricot vibe in there. Definitely the cask finish. 100% the cask finish on that. There is a little layer of spice on there, a little layer of cinnamon, but there is that sort of green fruit on there. Right, hang on. These are coming through here. Apricot, cinnamon. I'd agree with the apricot. Definitely agree with the wood on there. Cinnamon for Claire as well. Pineapple, yeah. This reminds me of whiskey barrels. I've been cutting in half. Sweetness followed by a long finish leaves heat on the back of the throat. On the nose, quite bright. Hang on, this is a long one, so let's put this up on screen. On the nose, quite bright and fruity, has appley sweetness, but some musty funk. Very dry in the first taste, some rich aged apple brandy. Not convinced this is rum. Nice though. Hope to God I don't own a bottle of this. Right, Karen. Here's a good one for you, Karen. The answer is yes, possibly. Right. What I want you to do, Karen, is get a bit. Just cleanse your palate. Just get a bit of water. Swirl it around on your mouth. Right. This will be the true test of whether you get alcohol or whether you get ethanol, or whether you kind of are getting peppery eyes. So just cleanse your palate with a bit of water. Right. So complete clear. Now, take a sip, but try and keep your mouth open slightly. So basically, the ethanol will just come straight off your tongue and out into there. Instead of out into your throat, come out into there. So at a split second, we'll let the ethanol come out and you get a very different finish. Very different finish. Bags of caramel and all that coming out in that. So just for a split second, if you can let the ethanol come out of your mouth, that might get rid of that peppery bite. It might. I'm not saying it will. It might. Right, hang on. B is nice. Some apricots. Yeah, agree with that, G. Hang on, let's put this on here. Nice apricots, spice, nutmeg, tropical fruit, some oak. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. Vanilla, leather, apricot, woody. 4.5 for Jake. 4.5, right, that's a score. So 4.5. Liked, better than the other one, but don't think I'm a fan. Unsure. That's fine. G, right. G, do I own a bottle of this? You flipping own a bottle of every single rum, don't you? I'll be honest. I don't think I've heard about anyone talk about these rums. That's not to say you don't own them, but I can't remember a single conversation about any of these rums. So I don't know. I don't know, G. Brandy finished, another delicious. So brandy finish on there. Brandy, Claire, brandy. And 8 for Claire. It's totally rum. Oh, so Pam's going up against Porky. Pam saying it's rum. Porky's not convinced it is rum. Much more complex. Guessing this is a blend. Much more peppery on the aftertaste. 8.5 for Pam. So Pam prefers this over the last one. Oh God, is it Solera? That means loads of casks. I can. No. I said there may or may not have been a curveball. I cannot confirm or deny anything. All I'm saying is there may or may not be a curveball. Some people might have took me that it might not be a rum that's coming out here. Some people have, like you, have just go, actually, is it Solera? You know, so all I'm saying is there may or may not be a curveball. That's all I'm saying. You take that how you want to do it. 5 for Scott. There's not many barrel finish guesses coming in here. 6 for Philip. Let's go into WhatsApp just for 2 seconds. Sandra's bloody hell, Sandra. Sandra set a stall out high here. She went straight in for 9 for the first one. Absolutely loved 9. Smashed the barrel, nailed the barrel. She's absolutely nailed the barrel again for this one. But but she's put, oh, I think I need to lower my score for A because this one smashes the pants off B. So until she's left it at 9, but I'm just going to give her 9.5 for this one. For Sandra. Again, Danny and Jamie. Obviously, you're not watching Danny and Jamie, so that's a shame. Andrew, that's in there. Andrew likes this one better. He's gone that. Right, okay, let's come back in here. So 5 for Scott, 6 for Philip. We've seen that. Really woody, grippy, balanced. 8.5 again for... Is that Nick? Where are we? No, where'd it go? Yeah, scrolled up. 8.5 for Nick. Balance, very drinkable. B does have cane, does... I thought that was a statement then, wasn't it? I thought that was B does have cane juice in it from Grind. Does B have cane juice in it? It's not alcohol, hope, but is it molasses and a cane juice blend? I am neither confirming or denying anything at this precise moment. This is blind tasting. This is the test of your palates. This is what you've all signed up for. All right? Education. Don't come at me. I'm just a facilitator. Expand horizons. That's what I'm about. 6.5. There's not many cask finish guesses going on here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 of you with cask finish guesses. G is French oak. Ooh. French oak. French oak and 8.5. French oak. French oak 8.5. Interesting. Anyone else? Anyone else? Come on. Philip, cask finish. Pam, cask finish. Nick, cask finish. Jake, cask. Although I won't badge Jake because Jake don't like it. Bunich, but Velimir, give me your cask finish as well. Nick, I'm sticking to Calvados. Sorry, is that what you were going for? Calvados, apple brandy. Sorry, you did say that, Nick. Sorry. Calvados. I'll just write Calvados. I know what you mean by that. I remember that. I think it's a good job I get my bonus this month. I'll stick with Madeira as I haven't a clue. I think, right, because I am in the luxury position of knowing what this is, I think you will, as soon as you hear what it is, you'll be like, oh God, yeah, of course it is. And that's all I'm saying with that one. I 100% taste what the cask is on that without a shadow of a doubt. I just don't know whether I'd pick it blind. You know, it's that beautiful thing. When you know what it is, you can taste it. It's that kind of thing. You know, I'm not going to stand here and go, oh, yeah, of course I know what that is. Right, haven't a clue. Whiskey for Philip. Haven't a clue. I'll put whiskey question mark for Philip. Whiskey. Right, okay. I think we're kind of there-ish. Yeah, we'll kind of sit with that. Right, a bit of Rivita then, and then this is so exciting, loving it. 6. Oh yeah, Havana Steve. Sorry, sorry, Steve. I didn't get you, did I? 6. No idea. Sorry, Stephen. 6. No idea. And finish too much long burn whiskey. Okay. Right, is that everyone? Connor's not here. Karen. I haven't got Karen either. Karen. God, there's a big hole in my little thing. Karen, did you give it a score? Sorry if you did. I missed it. If you did, Karen. No, I saw your question. Karen. Oh no, there's Karen. Oh, 5. There we go. Sorry, 5. Right, better, but not still a fan. I'm thinking whiskey cask. Right, sorry, Karen. There it is. 5 whiskey. Right, there we go. Sorry. Right, we're on it. Right. No way is that whiskey. Right. So if you want to move on to C, I'm just having a bit of Rivita. and flat soda water. There's a little bit of gas in there. Ooh. Not too much, but there's a bit of gas. I'm on the oatcakes. Yeah. I need to get a little stash in a Tupperware just in here for this. Because it really does help. Right. C. I'll be honest, C is the one that I'm most intrigued about. It's 100%. Oh no, I'm not going to finish that statement. I'll leave that in there. I don't like giving clues away. Right, C, I'm smelling pear peach, much nicer on the nose. I need to expand my alcohol consumption to identify. Right. This is where I get the honey. There's an intriguing kind of red fruit nose to this. I'll be honest, it's not jumping out at me as much as I hoped it would do. But I haven't tasted yet. Sweet honey on. Oh, Nick, hang on. This just popped up. Smell Mr. Pledge and floral. Nick, sweet honey. Yes. Gentle, mellow, fruity. Some anise. Ooh. Is that one mistake? No, I kind of get a little bit of red fruit. I don't really get the. And heather, don't. When I read heather, my head just goes to damp moss. I'm trying to get those smells, and all I can think is like damp, dewy moss. If I went out for a walk early in the morning, like out in the Lake District or the Peak District or whatever, I can't really pinpoint heather. I wouldn't know. Need to go to a garden centre to smell some heather. Right, pledge. Light honey, tropical. Yeah, I agree with that. There's definitely the honey on that. Dan says mead cask, if that's even a thing. No, heather fed honey. What? Heather fed honey? What's that? No, heather fed honey. What? What? Don't understand it. Heather fed honey. Don't understand it. Right. Dan says mead. I like that. Dan's got a little micro palate going on, isn't he? Right, I'm going in for a taste. I can't. I'm just getting. I'm going in. Ooh, wow, that's different. Ooh. After tasting B, I'm assuming this will be more up Jake Street. Because there's zero alcohol burn on that at all in the slightest. Ooh, that's quite fascinating. Bees that make home. Yeah, we've got Mummy Bartman's got loads of like heather and lavender and all that sort of. I think it's heather. I don't know. What's she got there? I don't know. I know what heather. I know bees and all that, but I wouldn't know what the smell is. I couldn't associate heather as a smell. If you said heather to me, I couldn't associate a smell with that. Unless you're telling me it's honey and I should be smelling honey, which is very doubtful, but there we go. Right. Honey? What? Bees fed on heather is what their honey tastes like. My honey don't taste like heather. What are you talking about? What are you going on about? See, Jake, I'm liking this. Yeah, see, I thought this would be more up Jake Street. Right, Claire's in with a score straight away. 7.5. Honey sweet vermouth finish. Interesting. 8.5. Now I'm hovering over it. Tastes light, honey, sweet, vermouth finish. Is that your cask, Claire? Sweet vermouth finish? Is that your cask or what? Dan, score 6 cask mead. Right, Dan is mead. Is Katie disagreeing? Final cask of white port. Katie's a 7, white port. Interesting. We know they're both wrong, but sticking with them. Someone send Steve a jar of heather honey. Okay. So I only do Manuka and posh honey and agave nectar. Right. Much nicer than B, more to it than A. Karen, much nicer than B. Very clear honey, sweet taste, nose, not much wood. I would say sherry again, just as it's sweet, 7. Karen's a 7 in sherry. So you gave Karen, was that you? I'm sure that was you as well. Yeah. So you gave A 7 as well, but you said there's more to this one than that. So do you want to give them both 7s, or would you score this one higher? Would you give this a 7.5, for instance? Scott's on a 4. Roy's back in the game. 6.5, maybe finished in dry sherry cask. Roy, dry sherry. 6 was it? Or 6.5? Where are we? 6.5. Right. Dry sherry. Like this. Right. Honey, not keen. Madeira, finish 5. 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. What am I looking for? Rachel. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? I've lost it. 5, finish. Right. Bloody hell. 5. Dear. Right, I missed a few. Right, either white wine cask or Fino for G. G is white wine or Fino. And score G for this. How do you rate it? Port finishing 8 for Stephen. 8 port. Right. 7 out of 10 for Nick. White honey water. The red fruit on the nose doesn't come out. I get a little bit of red fruit, not like a Jamaican rum red fruit. That doesn't come out in the palate for me at all. Right, 7.5 sherry finish for Philip. Sherry. Right. Katie, can I choose from 5? Yeah. Right. 6 for Jake. 6.5 for Bunnix. They're not guessing casks at all. Probably my favourite so far, going with an 8.5. Wow. You gave the last one 8.5 as well, G. But I'll put a little asterisk to denominate you prefer this one. Right. Jake 6, good point. 7.5 for Karen. Right, yeah, there we go. Right, Karen. So why can't I see Karen? There we go. 7.5. Charles, hello, Charlie. Cool, it's early for you. Oh no, the clock's gone back, isn't it? Forward. No, what have I done? Back, forward. I figure spring forward. But the clock's gone forward, didn't they? Right. Charlie's all the way from Australia. Right, who am I missing? Pam. I haven't got a score from you yet on this, Pam, unless I've missed it. I'm really sorry. Nick, I didn't write down a cask. Is it here, though? Hang on. Sorry, it's there. Sauternes or mead? Dessert. Sauternes, mead. Right. Right. Pam, dropping my score for A to a 7.5, going to an 8 for this one. So Pam, 7.5 for that one. An 8 for this one. Did you get the cask on this, Pam? 7 in the morning. Evening, Charlie. Right. So I think, hang on, just looking at this, I'll do Sandra and Andrew. I think it's just Pam. I just need your cask for this. I haven't written a cask for you down. Right. Sandra. Sandra's on an 8. Sandra miles away with the cask on this one, I'm afraid. And Andrew. Andrew's gone for a 5. Close, Andrew. Close. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that one. And right. So Doctor Strange. White wine, sorry, Pam. White wine. Right, okay, so that just leaves us with the last one. D. D. So again, I'm having a little reset. Pam. Now thinking it might have been a cask that has 2 different things in it before. I'm still looking forward to these conspiracy theories of what I've done. The curveball. Right. Cool, those Rivetas are chewy, aren't they? Right. There we go. So, where's Tom gone? We're on the D. Come on, Tom. Let's have the schoolboy joke. Right. This is the sweetest so far. I tell you what, you get that from the nose, don't you? 100% the sweetest one on the nose. Yeah. Ooh. That was very alcohol-wise. That was very mild on the taste. Very like C, very mild on the taste, but has actually got a little bit of a heat to it afterwards. Massive banana and chocolate. I do not get banana, and I do not get chocolate. That's the first time I've massively disagreed with you, Claire. I don't even get that on the taste. No. Banana and chocolate? No. I don't get that on the taste either. Banana. Karen, you question that? I got chocolate. Is Karen asking me banana, or is she questioning the banana? I don't get that at all. Perhaps it's just me. Not banana though. No, I don't think I get there. But you always get chocolate. No banana for me or chocolate. I personally don't think I've ever picked banana or chocolate on. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm fascinated by that. It's the ladies chatting away. Where's all the blokes gone? There we go. Jake's in there. This is my favourite one. Jake's my favourite. This is close to me for like a session run. is because it's just something you could easily quaff. I really don't think this cask finish is for me. It's not much character to it. I think I can taste the cask. Jake's my favourite. He's my favourite. All these quotes. Right. Honey, higher ABV, treacle, bags of vanilla, deep Madeira-esque flavour, unctuous, there's that word, oily, aggressive. You can tell that's come from Dan, isn't it? Katie's like, yeah, I like that. Dan's whiskey. Okay, whiskey. And did Dan give it a score? Yeah, 6 and 6. Right, 6 and 6. 6, 6, and Madeira for Katie. Right, Madeira. Complex there. Right. Might be too sweet for me. I bet these are all sherry cask, just different types of sherry. There's another conspiracy theory. There's another curveball, isn't it? I said there was a curveball. You know, all of you are coming out with different ideas for different curveballs. Right, by far the darkest of the four. What's that? Samless for samples, right? But not much. What? These are by far the darkest. By far the darkest of the four samples, but not much on the most except rum. Nose. I'm assuming that means right. Not much on the nose except rum. Right. I think I've caught up with G. God dear. It's like a full-time job translating G, isn't it? Caramel, vanilla, sherry. Right. Jake is getting caramel, something else. Can't put my finger in it. Not banana, not chocolate. But light and mild burning, not too strong. Just scrapes a 7 from me. No idea of the finish. Why can't I can never find Roy. There we go, 7 up there for Roy. So, but this was your second favourite, Roy. The first one was your favourite. If that's right, just scrapes a 7. Musty. See, I like Nick. Nick goes. It's kind of half his job, to be fair. But Nick goes proper in depth with sampling notes. It's like Dan. Dan's all over this as well. Some toffee apple, sweet toffee, very watery initially, but quite a long finish with a build-up of sensation. Leather, tobacco, cocoa. Must be PX or Madeira. Right. PX or Madeira for Nick. Madeira. I'm going to star that because it must be PX, so that's a star. 8 out of 10. Katie, Dan says, my least favourite rum. I'm going to get a new glass of done to end my night on. Yeah. On hindsight, I would have... I'll be honest, in hindsight, for me personally, I wish I'd gone the other way. I wish I'd gone D, C, B, A, because my favourite is A. Although B and A would, it'll be close between those two. I wish I'd gone the other way for these. Right. So completely the opposite to Jake. Jake Scott, we've gone in the right order for Jake. Scott is a 7. Right. Whiskey and 7 for Rachel. Right, Rachel. Oops, why am I writing your name? Whiskey and 7. Some kind of sweet sherry, 6 for Karen. Nearly said Pam now. Sweet sherry. Sherry and 6. Right. Or 6.9. All right, so the other one is your favourite. So Scott, the first one is your favourite. So all right, I'll put that at 6.9. I know what you mean. I get that. I understand that. Pam's an 8. Bunnet 7. Pam's an 8. 7 there. Toffee apple. That's it. Yeah. Sickly sweet 5 sherry finish. Sickly sweet nut. Yes, Roy. A, D, C, B. A, D, C, B. Yep, nailed. Right. I would go port cask, not a great rum, maybe 4. For port. I'm bartender Anne. Hello, Anne. 8 for Philip. Philip Madeira, possibly. Ooh, I'm writing that under. Oh, Pam, if I got a cask from you. Sorry, I've not written it down. If I have Madeira. Sorry. So I think score white. Hang on, I'll go. Hang on, let me just do the comments. Roy, I didn't get. Did I get a cask from you, Roy? Sorry, I'll scroll up if I did. I'm sorry. And who's the other one that's been giving me? Pam. Pam and Roy, I haven't written down casks for you, but I'll just go into the WhatsApp for a second. Right, Sandra. Sandra. Right, Sandra's least favourite. I'll share this. She's given it a 5. But Sandra has got 3 casks out of 4. Well done, Sandra. That's impressive. That's very impressive. Right, Andrew. Port. Andrew's gone port. Yeah, and Andrew's like me as well. Andrew's favourites are the first 2, but Andrew, I'll give you one cask. I'll give you a 1. You haven't got it, but I'll give you 1 out of 4. Right, hang on. So, where do we get to? Pam, change the scores again. Oh, right, hang on. Bloody hell, Pam. Right, A is 8. B is 8.5. Right, that's the same. C is 7.5. God dear. Pam, no wonder we call you high maintenance. D is 8. Right, yeah, that's fine. And Pam, did I get no idea in the cast? Sorry, Roy, that's why. Sorry, my bad. I'll put question mark there. And Pam will stick to port. Right, thank you, Pam. Port, right. Stick with port. Karen. Right, Scott, A. Right, A, C, B, D. A, C, B, D. So, did we find that enlightening? Sandra sounds like the boss. Yeah, she's. Hang on, let's go through a few weeks here. Sandra. Yeah, Sandra gave quite high. So the UK British rum, Sandra gave really high scores for that. What was this one? Oh, I forgot what we called that. The Banks 7, the I can't even say it, Methuselah, and the RL Seal. She gave high scores for. This is Sandra's. Oh, Sandra's, all right. She's I was going to say Sandra's worst weeks, but normally it's Jacob. Jacob didn't get involved. Jacob's not got involved in the next 2 of these, but Jacob is the one who's got the flipping super palette, and scary, absolutely scary. His palette on there. Yeah, right. See, we need Sandra in Discord. She won't. She won't. Right. So Sandra needs to come to me. So, feedback time. What did we think of that? How was it enlightening? Was it were you able to kind of pick different casks, different aromas, kind of that? I'm going to reveal these in a second, but before I do, I want to give you some scores of anyone that's kind of nailed these on there. Let's go through. Claire absolutely nailed 2 of them. Roy, I was going to give you 1, but I think I'm going to be, and you'll find out why. C. I'll talk about that in a minute. C was close, but I'm not going to give it to you because it is it is a different taste. It is a different thing. Right, Rachel. Rachel, none of them. Big G, absolutely none of them. Although you could argue a case, G. You could argue a case for the second one. You're wrong, but you could argue a case for it. Where are we, Nick? Oh, Nick, I will give you. Oh, I'll give you two halves. Again, you could argue a case for B, and you could argue a case for D for you, Nick. If you're making notes, right, Pam. Pam, you haven't got any, but again, you could argue a good case for D. And actually, do you know what? You could argue a really good case for C as well. Again, you're like Roy. If you're scrolling through the comments, you are like Roy. You're in the right direction. You're just with the wrong thing. All right. So you could argue points for that. Philip, no. Again, you could argue D for you, Philip. Right, Stephen. Steve, do you know what, Steve? Right. I'm going to say something here now because I don't even need to look at the pin messages. When you were smelling these, I was like, oh my God, look out. He's nailing every single one. When you came to taste and that, you nailed one. You could potentially argue for a second one. Potentially. Right, Karen. Karen's gone a lot of sherry. Yeah, Karen, you could argue a case for you. One I would give you. You could argue a case for another one, but again, you're in the wrong place, but you kind of got the right idea, if that makes sense. Velimir Bunchich, no. Sandra's absolutely nailed 3 out of 4. Andrew, again. Oh, do you know what, Andrew? I will give you. I'll give you 1.5 because you're in the right direction for the second one, but you're wrong on the second one. And Scott has not done these. Katie and Dan. Dan, you've nailed. Do you know what? Again, on the aromas, and when you started, you absolutely nailed them, but you tailed off at the end. So Dan, I think you actually got 2 bang on the money. I think right. So, right, hang on. Before I do this sounds we're all rubbish. That's the beauty of blind tasting. It shows how little you know. So, the curveball. Do you want to know what the curveball was before we go any further? Actually, can I kind of this showcase what what I wanted to do? I'll tell you the story, and then I'll do the big reveal. So, what I wanted for my own personal thing, because I have to treat this as a personal thing as well, because I know if it helps me, I'm pretty sure it'll help everyone else. So I have to always adopt that mentality. All right. As I've said, time and time and time again, on all the videos, on all the live streams, I am fascinated by a rum's journey. Absolutely fascinated. I want to be able to taste the rum before and after. All right. I'm fully aware that different barrels do different things, but I personally want to be able to taste the difference from a rum before it's been aged and after, because I'm so intrigued of what these barrels do. Now, that should start ringing some bells and thinking, actually, what's he done here? So, what you are tasting tonight, and this is not the same rum, but it's close to being as close as you can get to being the same rum all the way through, except for the barrel aging. All right. I gave the clue at the start about Abuelo. It's not Abuelo. The only other brand, to my knowledge, that I could have done this with. Are you ready? drum roll, the big reveal. The only other brand I could have done this with, Don Q. So what you've been tasting is Don Q. All right? The 4 that are available in the UK. Now, I want to make a disclaimer here because the 7 is not these rums. It is a slightly different blend, but after chatting to the guys at Don Q, the blend is similar to what these are. So with the Don Q, what you've got in there is a minimum age of 7-year-old rums, but I think they go up to 10-year-old rums as well. All right, so you've got that blend, but you've got very, very similar blends going into these. These have all been aged for 5 to 8 years, the base rum, which is very similar to that, except you've got a couple of younger rums in there to what you have there. But that should give you a pretty good idea of what the rum is before it gets aged in different barrels. So what you've got is the Don Q 7-year-old, which is just American white oak. So for those of you that were getting wine, you were getting sherry, claret, Madeira, Sandra nailed it, absolutely nailed it. She even said white oak. And that's what it is. It is white oak in there, American white oak. So that's where you get the vanilla-y kind of vibes going off on there. I'm not looking at the comments yet. I'll come down to the comments. So it stopped scrolling, so I can't see what anyone's put there. So A was the 7. All right. B was much stronger, so 40% ABV, and the price of this £32, and that's your price. All right, £32 in the UK. I am so happy with that. That for me is a great rum. Really, really like that. And quite a few of you were giving it 8s, 9s. Sandra gave it a 9. You know, 9. Even where's G? G, all right, G gave it a 6. You know, so not G's things, but quite a lot were 9s and 10s. Claire, £32. Claire, 9 or a 10 out of 10. That's that. Just unaged, different, not a quirky barrel, if you like. All right. So that's that. So that 40% ABV. The next one we did was the cognac finish. So again, a few of you had Calvados. A lot of you said whiskey. Sandra nailed this on Calvados. Claire said brandy, which I'm obviously giving you as well. G said French oak. Obviously, you know, brandy, cognac is French. So I know he's going to argue a point for that, but, you know, it isn't. It's cognac finish. Yeah, but this is nearly 50%. This is 49.6%. I think on tasting, I think it is very evident that this is the stronger ABV one. But absolutely gorgeous. I flipping love that. Now, this was the quirky one. Some of you might be Googling and might be having a look at what this is already. This one is vermouth. And it's not white vermouth, it's Rosso vermouth. Okay, so this one is the blend of, so it's not that, but essentially that, but then finished for a further 2 years in cognac barrels. 2 years, all right, in cognac barrels that's had. I think it's 2 years. Yeah, 2 years in there. This one has had 4 to 6 weeks in a Italian Rosso vermouth. 4 to 6 weeks. So all of these have exactly the same base rum in them, blend of 5 to 8-year-old rums. They've just been aged in different barrels, but you should be able to get the base rum virtually off that one. All right. So this is a Rosso red, sweet red wine. That's your vibe. Vermouth on there. All right. So for those that was sort of saying Madeira, some it's a dry sherry, you're kind of in the right area. You know, it is that sort of red, you know, it's not sherry, it's not sweet enough to be sherry, but it is that sort of fortified there. So 4 to 6 weeks that's been aged for in vermouth casks. Red Italian, what's it called? Mancino Vecchio vermouth, which you can get quite easily. Italian vermouth is what it is. And then the last one is the sherry finish for that. And quite a lot of you, but it is Oloroso sherry. So it's kind of like the nuttier, not dry, not fino, but nowhere near PX levels either. You know, nowhere near cream sherry, nowhere near PX. Oloroso is kind of that sort of, you've got Fino, Manzanilla, and then you've kind of got Oloroso, Montellado, that sort of levels before you kind of get into the cream of PX. So it's sherry vibes, but it's not sweet. It is sweeter than Fino, but not sweet as cream or PX or anything like that. All right. So that is your sherry. Again, all three are the same base rums, 5 to 8 year old blend of rums. But this one was aged for a year, wasn't it? Yeah, 1 year. So 2 years in cognac, 4 to 6 weeks in vermouth, 1 year in Oloroso. That was my curveball. All four are the same brand with effectively as close as you'll get to the same rum in it that's just been aged differently. And that is, from a personal point of view, what I wanted to get out of this. Because as I've said time and time again, I am fascinated. It is one thing to take a random rum and take a random sherry cask. But that's fine. But, you know, you're just tasting the rum and the sherry. How is that, you know, what is the base rum like? How is that cask affected that rum? That's what I'm about. That's what I'm so intrigued about. That is why, and this stems back inherently back to why I'm so excited about UK rums, because I can not only now taste these at a base level as a white rum, but I will be able to taste these as a 3-year-old in whatever, in bourbon casks. But if they start to do it like Doug at Scratch, I'll be able to taste, so I can know exactly what his base rums are like. I can taste them at different cask finishes. That's a personal thing for me. So I've thrust my personal kind of inquisitiveness onto you guys tonight. And I'll dive into the comments now to see whether you hate that or not. hopefully you would have taken that in good stead. So just to go through the prices before I do, £32. This is the expensive one, the cognac, as you'd expect, 2 years in cognac, £65 a bottle. The vermouth, I personally wouldn't buy that, £48. I wouldn't buy that again, and £48 for the sherry. For me, the two that I would buy are definitely those two. I would hands down have that Don Q 7-year-old. That is a banger for me. Really like that. And I would kind of have that as a lot of the luxury brand. So that's where I sit on that. Those two, yeah, not so much. All right. They do, it's not quite available in the UK, but they have got a red wine finish, I think, now, and a port finish. They're not quite here in the UK yet, from what I know. But yes. So now I'm gonna scroll through these now. I've got 10-12 minutes of comments to catch up on. Let's see the hate. Let's see what's happened. Steve, you genius. Oh, okay, that's the first one. I'll take that. If that's the niceties, I'll stick there. Never had any Don before tonight. That's what I mean. No one in Discord has ever chatted about Don Q. And this all stems for me because, where's it gone? Right. I think this will have dropped last week, but I filmed this about probably about 5 weeks ago. And I was so taken aback by that spiced rum that I was like, wow, that's pretty damn decent. And for some reason, I've just not really paid any attention to Don Q, and no one has mentioned Don Q in Discord, in the membership community. So it's kind of why I kind of picked him. Just to clarify, yep, they're all Don Q. That's the spice that I'll keep to one side. Yeah, actually, Nick. So the anise, quite possibly in the vermouth, actually very possibly, because they do say it's wet vermouth, some wet vermouth barrels in there. So quite possibly wine base vanilla. Definitely on the bucket list. You know, that's a absolute. So £32 for those of you, if Tom's still watching, those of us with trade accounts, that's even cheaper on that. Have that. Oh, this is interesting. See, yeah, so Steve was going to be one of the ones I wanted to chat to about this, because Stephen Beck has got the Abuelos, and Abuelos have got 4 different cask finishes of the same. Again, it's not the 12-year-old. They do something similar. They've got different cask finishes where you kind of loosely have the 12-year-old as the starter, and then they've got the cognac, the port, I've forgotten the sherry. Is that right? Again, the 12 is not the base, but it is as close to the base rum of those Abuelos as you will get. Right, very, very interesting. Let's see the cask mates. Right, I can't get over how soft sweet the Don Q is. Roy has got a bottle. But delivered a bottle today. Glad I like it. Nice. Is the order backwards? Sorry. So no. So hang on. Let's get rid of the spice for 2 seconds. So A is the standard, because obviously I had to start there. A is the standard, just whiskey. American white oak. You know, that's all that is. It's the base rum. So those of you getting sherry and all that off it, no, it's just American white oak. That standard sort of rum aging. You know, yeah, standard. And then we went cognac. So I'm looking opposite in the mirror now. So we went white oak was A, cognac was B, vermouth was C, and then sherry was D. And as I say, those two I wouldn't. But I'm inherently not a massive sherry fan. The sherry finishes that I've had, you know, they just leave the rum too sweet. They take away the taste of the rum. They're like, you know, I like rum. I don't want to be drinking sherry. I like rum. So that's me. That's my viewpoint. Question, right. Right, so the Grand Reserve, the reason why I didn't do the Grand Reserve is, I think it's a minimum of 10 years old, but has got 12, I think it's a blend of 10, 12 and 15 in it. So it would be a lot more aged than what this is. This, by Don Q's own admission, is the closest blend, even though these are 5 to 8. This is the closest blend you'll get to what's in here. But the step up, the Grand Añejo is the step up. It's a 10-year-old, I think. I think I'm sure it's 10 to 12. And this is another one as well, because I have got up here, I've got the Don Q Cristal, and again, that to me, you know, this is like the Bacardi. See, Bacardi, for me, this is like, it's all right. You know, it's just like, it's nothing special. It's just a cheap white rum. It's nothing. This is probably why I've not gone down the Don Q rabbit hole, because it's like, yeah, it's like Bacardi, Carta Blanca. Bacardi is just like, but at least I have gone down the Bacardi 4, the 8 and the 10. And now I'm kind of really glad that I've done the Don Qs, because I'm a big fan. I'm a really big fan of that. I mean, to compare those two, obviously you wouldn't anyway, but that's such a better quality rum than what that is, the Don Q Cristal. So, yeah. The sherry really comes out of an empty glass. I've still got stuff in it. So going back, this is a question I was going to say. So some of you might have answered this already. Going back to your glasses or your samples, if you've got any left, do you now pick them? Because I think the obvious one, by a long way for me, is the cognac. As soon as I smelt it, I could smell the cognac. But as I said during the tasting, I knew it was a cognac barrel. If I was trying to pick blind, I'd be like, what the hell is that? It's so familiar, I don't know, and I probably wouldn't pick it. But I do know. I think the sherry, again, you would loosely kind of get sherry, but Oloroso, no, you would just loosely get sherry off that. I don't think I would ever in a million years pick vermouth, but I possibly would get red wine. For me, that's not too dissimilar to that Craft Rum Club Amarone that we did, because of those sort of red wine vibes. But there is sort of there's something else going on there. But vermouth, don't forget, vermouth is just aromatized wine. So it's like, so to dumb this right down of what vermouth is, and I mean to dumb it right down, you know, like gin is just flavoured up vodka. So you take a vodka and you add botanicals to it, and you've got gin. All vermouth is you take a wine and you effectively add botanicals to it, and then you've got vermouth. Okay, that's dumbing it right down, but that's kind of what you get. So in your vermouth, you've got lots of botanicals essentially. All right. But yeah, I don't think I'd get there. Hey, Sean, how are you? Morning. Your review. Oh, was that's spiced? Yeah. I really do like this spiced. I really do. And again, you know, as I say, I won't talk about it too much. I think it was last week's video or the week before, whenever it came out. But you know, this is like Chairman's. It's done properly. You know, it's actual. It's oak aged. Spices have been infused and macerated in there. You know, it's not like flavour compounds or anything like that. That is a proper, absolute find for me. I really adore that. Really, really good. Great. I like Spencer Dunham. Right, home bartender. I've Dr. Baird and a vermouth in Muscatel. Right. And I think, obviously, you know, people like Nick, people like G, and all, and quite a few of you are going to understand. To be fair, most of you are going to understand this, but don't, you know, don't take that as a classic example of sherry. Because even to me, right, because you've got the base rum that plays a massive part as that. Even for me, right, I know full well that the Brugal 1888 is going to taste completely and utterly different to what that does. I know, I think I've relegated it. No, it's here, it's at the back. I know the Dawley's XO, again, is going to taste completely and utterly different to what that is. You still get the sherry notes, but the rum is going to be different. So don't tar them all with the same brush. Don't think, oh, you know, I didn't like the sherry, so I'm not going to buy a sherry. You kind of got to try them all. But for me, the further I go down the sherry rabbit hole, the more I dislike them, the more I just can't be bothered with sherry. I don't enjoy it. But that goes mainly down for what I say. I try and make my sort of distinctions clear. I really do love unaged rum, and I do love rum that hasn't been tampered with too much barrel sort of stuff going on. I love the taste of just pure rum. And yeah, I know people will argue, well, actually, you know, barrels and all that smooth rum out and sort of mature it and all that. I get that. That's just not my thing. I love the taste of kind of rum, off the still rum. So, Philip, I'll be buying a bottle of A. A for me is for me, right? Oh, that's all right. We'll come back. For me, when I kind of tasted it the first time, I did get a lot of heat, but actually, when you kind of open the air out to it, just allow the ethanol just to escape off your tongue. Wow. For 32 quid, that really does turn into a lovely caramelly, you know, vanilla-y, probably the most I would want from a rum. You know, for me, that is sort of, again, even though it's completely different, that's sort of to me on that sort of level, the RLC. That for me is nothing like the 12 and the 14. That's lovely, a light, refreshing, fruity little rum. You know, as much as I do love and I do appreciate the Dawley's 12, the Dawley's 14, the Eldorado 12, the Eldorado 15, you know, as much as I appreciate them, they are not what I grab all the time. That potentially would be one that I kind of just sip and drink. 32. Anthony, hello, Anthony. What's going on here? I think, oh no, I think it's my mouse. I thought my computer was freezing, but it's not. It's the mouse, I think. Right, A is £30 on Amazon at the moment with free Prime delivery. Bargain, there we go. Why are you shaming the last two? What's wrong with them, Steve? I'm not shaming them. I just look. The more videos I do, the more I want people to learn my palate. So when I do say something, you can adjust your palate and what you like to mine. So, for instance, if you know I'm sort of sherry and all that, then the chances are, if you love sherry, you're probably going to like it. Don't take my word for it that I don't like it and think, oh no, I'm avoiding that because Steve don't like it. That's not what I want. I want to make my palate perfectly clear. Dan's annoying. I couldn't get cognac or vermouth because I've never tasted them. That's fine. The tannins on a threw me, but took me to Bordeaux, the virgin oak, giving a tannic grip, I guess. See, that's, I don't get those tannins. It's, as soon as you let the ethanol escape off your tongue, you just don't get those tannins off that. It's just, oh, yeah, it's gorgeous, that is. I smelt sweet wine on sea. Yeah, poor. That's what I mean, Stephen. I kind of give you like half a mark for that because you're almost in the same place. Tasting, sometimes your nose tells you more than your tongue. Right. So, cooking. Just ordered the 7 on Amazon. There we go. Only 5 bottles left. Hey, make sure you flipping use my affiliate link in Discord. Buy my stuff. Right. Write a piece for myself getting vermouth. Great idea. I really do like vermouth finish. Did you say? Yeah. This is 4 to 6 weeks in Mancini Vecchio vermouth, Rosso vermouth, Italian vermouth. So you can get that vermouth quite easily. It's quite a big vermouth. And for me, this is again to go down the vermouth rabbit hole. To group them together, I really don't like French vermouth, but then I don't like French wine. I just don't like. So don't forget, vermouth is wine based. So you get different. Italian vermouth will be very different to French vermouth, which will be very different to Spanish vermouth, which will be very different to vermouths being created in the US or here in the UK. We've got some banging UK vermouths, which I actually quite like, but then I do like UK wine. There's some cracking stuff being made, even locally to me, Chilford Hall. We've got some great wine in the UK, but I inherently don't like French vermouth because it is a drier style, and that's not me. Italian wine, especially red wine, the red Italian wine, I do really like. So if you're looking at vermouths, you kind of have to figure what wine you kind of prefer. For me, my favourite vermouth by a mile is Spanish. Lustau is absolutely banging stuff, amazing stuff. But then it is sherry-based vermouth. So they've used sherry and then fortified that or aromatized that with botanicals as opposed to a wine. So Lustau is a very different thing. Right. For me, the best rum is ex-bourbon, cask Finishes. Ex-sherry can take over the character of the spirit. Yeah, right. P. Have a confession. Had a quick swig of random rum before each tasting to get the taste buds used to the alcohol. Turns out the rum... Yes, Pam, yes. Still get creamy chocolate notes off D. Ordered the 7 off Amazon. Caught up with the comments. Right, so that's I'm caught up with the comments. I'm happy to stick around here for a few minutes and chat. If anyone's got any questions, if anyone's got any banter, put your questions in the old comments below. You go for that. Thoughts on that? Again, I'm looking. So next week's tasting for those that have got involved is budget rum. There is one rum that did break the £30, which annoyed me because when I was looking at it, it was £26, but then it shot up. But next week's rums, I've tasted one of them before, but again, there are not rums that I would have even contemplated buying a bottle of. They will be mixing rums, I'm guessing, but I'm going to taste them neat. So for those of you that have got them next week, I don't think you'll be out of your way taking them with rum and Coke, rum and ginger beer. You should have enough, for those of you who've got it, to do little like 15ml samples, if you like, of Coke and ginger. If you've got a can of Coke or can of ginger or whatever, or Stratford sodas, when Katie and Dan actually get more Stratford sodas, I'm literally on my last legs now down here of Stratford sodas. I've got a hedgerow. but I'm down to my last sort of 3 bottles of spiced. I've got plenty of hedgerow down there. but yeah, so I'm down to my last legs. But yeah, so for next week, for the budget ones, I think you should have enough to do mixes often, because I think at 20, I think one might be around about £22. I think the rest will be roughly about £25, £26. So I would class them as mixing rums, cocktail rums, but I'm quite interested. The port finish, absolutely rich and not overly sweet. Sorry. Quite question, Katie from Dan. Dan, what's your night out with the boys go-to rum? I don't have night outs with the boys. They chat about football now. I have night out with the girls. Whatever I can get my hands on, to be fair, 9 times out of 10 if I'm out, it's cracking. I was out in Cambridge. Oh, bloody hell, when was it? It was quite a while ago now, actually. But I was out in Cambridge, and my choices were Havana 7 and Kraken. I was just like, so ginger ale, rum, ginger ale, whatever. But if I'm out in London, it's a bit different. But again, I like to sip neat. So Black Parrot, I think I'm down at Black Parrot again in when are we? Oh, might be next Wednesday, actually. It depends. I'm filming in London on Wednesday, so I might be down at Black Parrot. But I reckon his date night. Oops, I'm blocking. No, I don't want to block. Stop. There we go. Nearly blocked Scott then. Kraken and ginger ale. Yeah, So I was out in Manchester. I was out at NRB. Well, it was last, not this week gone, but last week. I was at Northern Restaurant and Bar Show up in Manchester. Rachel and Kev up there as well. And on a Monday night, just before I quickly met up with everyone, Monday night I went straight to the biggest bar in Manchester, which is Albert Schloss. And I've got so many gins and so many vodka and all that sort of stuff. And I was like, where's the rum? Havana Especial, Havana 3-year-old, Havana Spiced, Kraken, Bacardi 8-year-old, and there was one other. Oh, Havana around the back, Havana Selection de Maestros, that one. I was just like, so I had that, but I was like, come on, guys, play the game. What's going on here? Massive bar. It was just like, meh. But then I went to Bunny Jackson's, and Bunny Jackson's, we're because it was trade night. Bunny Jackson's were on Stiggins Fancy, pineapple. Well, you know what it is? Plantation pineapple and ginger for £2.75. Absolute steal, Bunny Jackson's. Absolute steal. What's your favourite mixer? Who asked that? My favourite mixer, if I'm out, is ginger ale. And I was actually quite impressed with Manchester, because Manchester, there's a hell of a lot of Schweppes. Schweppes proper ginger ale. I've always got these. I flipping love these. Always got them. Schweppes ginger ale. You can't beat that. That's fantastic. But obviously, if I'm here, because these are not out in pubs and bars yet, obviously if I'm here, we do kind of like the Stratford sodas, don't we? We do. And you can't get Diet Pepsi in pubs and bars. You get Diet Coke, which is horrible. And see you later, G. Thanks for coming. Was in a Michelin-star restaurant on Friday night. The rum's available were poor, and told them so. They said nobody orders rum. I'm so not surprised you've got nothing worth ordering. It's that chicken and egg sort of thing, isn't it? It's like when no one orders rum. Well, improve your rum selection, and they will do. It's that sort of thing, isn't it? It's like people are still in that mentality where they kind of don't even see it with gin. They kind of, for some reason, they'll be like, oh yeah, gin's massive, but they sell the premium gin and not the flavoured gins. And you're kind of like, well, that's why you sell a lot of gin, because you've got quality gin. And yet you don't kind of translate. Half the place, let's be honest, half the places don't even have decent malt whiskies or decent whiskies. you know, a lot of places you'll get Jack Daniels or Jim Beam, and you might be very lucky if you get Woodfords. Might be very, very lucky, but you know, you're just like, come on, play. Like, we're in a premium world now where people go out maybe once a month, but treat themselves. They'll spend more, but go out just once, as opposed to going out 5 or 6 times and spending less on a night out. You know, there's some places get it, some don't, and it really can't. You can tell them until they're blue in the face. They just don't get it. Belvoir sparkling apple for the first time in a stone plantation. Yeah, Beaver apple is fantastic. I've just had to, because I wasn't going to order a case, but so I've just had to get the big old bottles this time. Get the big old bottles. Beaver. But I will probably order another case of 24 because I do go through them. Right, Albert Schloss is all about the food. Sunday lunch. Woo! My first rum out with Steve was Angostura in 1919. Yeah, did we do the same? I remember going plantation after that really dodgy espresso martini. Well, dodgy espresso martini. Oh, have we just crashed? My Internet Explorer's just crashed. What's going on? Oh, no, we're back. We're there. We're fine. Something's updating, I'm assuming. Right, I was surprised when out in York. The choice of rums were quite good. Yeah, York, that's what I mean. Places like York and Leeds and all that are kind of actually all over it. York, if you go to like the Evil Eye in York, is fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Sausages, Albert Schloss. So it was my end. I think I can see some loosely updating here in the background. I've got my, you won't be able to see it. I've got my task manager memory kind of thing, just kind of keeping an eye on it. It just went zip. So I think someone's just kicked in at whatever time. Someone kicked in at 10 o'clock, I'm guessing. I don't know what. But no, we're cool. Right. Philip, you're in Northern Ireland, aren't you? Sure you are. Are pubs able to order? In theory, yes. Because all pubs will have some form of 10% outside of their buying deal. Is very, very rarely a pub doesn't have that 10%. Very rarely. But even now, you know, even if you are tied to wherever, you know, 9 times out of 10, they have got some decent rums. Even one of the small little wholesalers in East Anglia has got some like really good rums that you could buy. I mean, that was the company I was buying Brugal off, pouring deals with Brugal years ago. So you know they're there. Yeah. They just the thing you have to think with pubs though, like go Green King for instance, because they are local and they're massive. Well, they're UK massive, but hang on, I'll put that. The thing you kind of have to remember that they have to balance when you're running a pub or a bar. It is no good having a bottle of that's just going to be sat on the back bar for 3 months. Sure, you want turnover. You want a bottle of spirit or whatever to be turned over once every 2 weeks. That's where your profit is. You do not make any money. All that is an investment as opposed to cash generating. That is a pub's worst nightmare or a bar's worst nightmare. You need to be turning over. Everything you buy must be turned into cash as soon as possible. You can't have stock lying around. You should never, if you're running a pub or a bar, you should never have more than 2 weeks worth of stock on hand. If you are, you're just wasting money. You've got money just sitting there. You get a delivery every week. You basically have 2 weeks worth in hand. So if you have a busy night, you're covered. But yeah, 2 weeks. That's it. You know, and that's where a lot of people go wrong because they do take advantage of buying deals, and they might buy like 2 cases of 6 vodka, which will probably last them 2 months. But of course, they've spent out more money. They've got it cheaper. Maybe they've saved £1 a bottle, but it's just sitting. It's just gathering dust. You've got to be turning over. So, in an ideal world, you don't unless you want to put a deal on. So you're going to get through those 2 cases of vodka in 2 weeks. Then even deals are not worth it. Right, there was something here. Katie from Dan. What is your favourite whiskey and why? And why is it Brook Laddie? What? What is your favourite whiskey and why is it Brook Laddie? My favourite whiskey. I don't drink whiskey, so I don't know what the Brook Laddie is all about. Right. Yeah, but even Punch, I know Punch is buying deals. I know full well that Punch will have a decent list of rum that you can buy. Yes, you can buy the Kraken, the Havana, the Captain Morgans, but I know full well Punch have 100% got Eldorados listed. They've 100% got Plantation rums listed. They've 100% got Appleton rums listed. I don't think Punch have got Dawleys or any Foursquare or anything like that. Punch have got the Santiago's listed because of Diageo. That'll be absolutely so. Punch will be able to get the 11-year-old and the 12-year-old Santa de Cuba, absolutely no problems. Punch will be able to 100% have Flor de Carnia 12 listed. So yeah, they all do. But the thing is, it's education. If the person that runs the pub doesn't know what they are, they're not going to buy them. Because they're going to look at it and thinking, well, I'm not going to sell that. So what's the point? Flor de Carne, I've not heard what that is. My customers have not heard what that is, so they're not going to buy it. Right, David. Can only apologise for his PA. Right, I'm going to call it quits there. If you guys want to go into Discord for the after party, you are more than welcome. I think that's cool. So next week we are going to do the budget rum taste along. There's no curveballs to be had there because they are just budget rums under 30 quid, but they're around about the £25 mark. But some cracking videos coming out next week. Look out for the Plantation one with Fads. I will share that on my community feed as well. So you'll see that on my main channel, but it's actually on the Stevie Rum Reviews. Right, so that's me done. I need a wee. The Steel River, blah, blah, blah. Broadcast, get my lessons. I, as Holly, will be in Discord. Cheers, Roy. So, yeah, go and meet Phil and Holly in... I prefer Dermot and Alison, to be fair. Dermot and Alison. Leslie. Hello, Leslie. Really good run for sipping. A good price point. Yeah, it's all right. It's a bit thin, isn't it? It's a bit... I would say the vermouth, just on that, I would say the vermouth is a decent kind of rum-fashioned kind of rum. You're going to add a quirky little twist to it there, but for a neat sipper, I think the vermouth just kind of takes away everything that's rum about it. Yes, you can taste rum, but yeah, it's not that. It's all right. It's not a £50 rum for me. Not a chance. At 30, I'd rather pay 50. I'll tell you where I am. I'd rather pay 50 quid for that, the 7-year-old, because that is hands down better for me for that. But that's only 32 quid. Bargain. Right. That's me done. Who is Alison? Dermot and Alison. What are you talking about? The Friday crew. Right. I'm going to leave it there. I will see you next week live, but I'll see you through the week for more videos. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all at 3 p.m.